And again, what you see is tremendous 4K performance.
What's up everyone? So I just watched the AMD premiere presenting to the world the new Zen 3 architecture, and I would say we have some interesting news. The last few months have been pretty exciting in the PC gaming industry with the introduction of NVIDIA 3000 series, the Zen 2 introduction, which only happened mid last year, with the 3900X being launched just in July 2019. And that's already an incredible processor. You can, by the way, find on my channel its reviews and also some tips on the best way of overclocking it. And here we are anyway again with the new AMD CPU family being released. So the Zen 3 architecture and its 5900X processor being just unveiled in this AMD conference, which just opened with a series of heroic music and great sound effects, which reminds you a kind of action thriller from the theaters. Let's anyway try to recap what was said during this presentation. So Lisa Su started talking about the great achievements since the introduction of the first gen of Ryzen processors back in 2017 until today with the latest 3900 XT, where they incredibly reduced the gap with the competition and were able to provide to the consumer segment CPU threads count previously simply impossible. Now with the Zen 3 architecture, AMD states they were able to increase their lead in overall performance, in power efficiency, and for the first time they were able to deliver the best single-core performance and also gaming performance. 7nm in chiplet technology we know already in Zen 2 has been further optimized in Zen 3, providing higher frequency, higher instruction per clock, and lower latency at the same time. The greatest change in CPU design is that now CPU core can directly access the 32 MB of L3 cache, which provides a tremendous boost in all those scenarios which are latency sensitive, like for example gaming, and an additional 19% of IPC increase on top of what was already provided in the last year's Zen 2 architecture. The Zen 2 CPU was made of 2x 4-core cache complexes, strongly integrated with each other, but now with the Zen 3 it brings everything together in a single unified cache core complex, which brings direct access to the 32 MB of L3 cache rather than the 16 MB we have with the Zen 2. And this is basically what is a real game changer for gaming applications. Sorry for the repetition, but in gaming we have a frequent use of the memory subsystem, especially for those games, for example, that are using just few threads or a single thread. Now that single thread, for example, has full access to the whole amount of L3 cache. Performance per watt was also enhanced. As you can see during the presentation, they were providing a multiplier factor comparing with the 1800X, stating also a 24% improvement in power efficiency over prior generation. And standing from the AMD CTO, they were also able to provide an increase in efficiency over the 10900K of 2.8x. We could also see Zen 3 in action in gaming. In particular, we saw the Ryzen 9 5900X, 12 cores, 24 threads, just like the 3900X, with a boost clock of 4.8 GHz. Just a minor increase if we compare it to the 4.6 GHz of 3900X and the 4.7 GHz of 3900 XT. Provides anyway 19% of higher IPC while remaining at 105 watts as a TDP. A Shadow Tomb Raider benchmark was also shown by AMD comparing the 5900X with the 3900 XT at just 1080p, just to really see the gain of the CPU power basically. And there was a huge difference of 40 FPS, which is equal to around 28%, which confirms the increase in IPC of this new generation of CPUs. There were also other gaming benchmarks shown, giving an average uplift of 26% at 1080p, upgrading from 3000 to 5000 series. Just like any other presentation from AMD, they showed the Cinebench R20 results, comparing with the top Intel CPU, but this time, instead of showing multi-threading operations and results, they were more focused on Cinebench single-thread operations, scoring 631 points compared to 544 points of the 10900K. When they showed anyway the benchmark results of games compared to the i9 10900K, the performance gain was not tangible, going from 1 to 5%, and only in a couple of cases they were able to reach 20% of gain. Apart from the 5900X 12 cores, 24 threads, 70 megabytes of cache at $550, Lisa also showed the Ryzen 7 5800X 8 core, 16 threads with the 36 megabytes of cache at $449. And they also showed the Ryzen 5 5600X, a 6 cores 12 threads CPU with just 35 megabytes of cache at $299. All these CPUs will be available in theory by November the 5th. Obviously, we need to see if that's true or not, like in case of Nvidia's 3000 series. For example, we saw that they will be probably lacking until the beginning of next year. But that's anyway less than a month from now, so I think it's great if that's truly available. As for the prices, they seem to be, to me, a little bit higher than previous gen, about $50 higher than comparing models from Zen 2 architecture. There was anyway also a short overview on the 5950X. It's a real beast with 16 cores, 32 threads, up to 4.9 GHz boost and 72 megabytes of cache. And this is probably, together with the 5900X, what Intel should really be afraid of. The 5950X crushed Intel competition in any content creation software they showed, as well as in gaming too. The conference ended with a big surprise, Lisa keeping in her hand the AMD Radeon RX 6000, which will be officially announced in the upcoming weeks, precisely on October the 28th. So what do you think after all of these new CPUs and their launch? Are you excited about this conference, what was shown, and will you do the upgrade? Please let me know in the comments below what do you think, and as usual, it would be really appreciated if you can hit the like and subscribe button to the channel, just for supporting me for future videos. If you like more videos like this one, please consider taking a look at my PC gaming playlist. You will probably find interesting stuff in there. That's really everything I have for you today. Thanks everyone for watching, and happy modding everyone!